Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Skill Gym, of course. Now, today, continuing on from the Dreamcast set and the Sega Saturn set, I don't have a full set of this, but we're going to be looking at my Mega Drive Mega CD games today. I'm going to start by going through the A to Z that I have in Mega Drive, and then we'll do A to Z and Mega CD, and I might even throw in a little bonus Game Gear set at the end, just to just to finish this video off. Otherwise I don't think I will be able to show them off in any other video. Doesn't seem worth it to do its own separate video. So yeah, basically, if you've been watching the Dreamcast or the Saturn versions of this video, I'm selling a lot of my collection. Not Shenmue, of course. I'm keeping all of my Shenmue stuff, and still a lot of Sonic and figures and whatnot, but I'm getting rid of games that I can rebuy again in Japan, basically. Games that I've collected and had over the years for ages. A lot of these I've had since I was like a kid, and yeah, I'm just trying to sort of cut down and not take a huge amount of stuff over to Japan with me. I want to sort of keep the bare minimum as you know, as much as possible. So I'm happy to get rid of these Mega Drive games. Yeah, again, I'm going to go through each of the titles. We're going to look at the cases, the manual. Can't really show the discs for Mega Drive. We're going to take a look inside, if we can get in them, and just sort of show off the condition of these games, basically more for my own benefit, that I once owned these games. Yeah, I mean, the Mega Drive aren't in as good condition as the Saturn and Dreamcast set that I collected, because obviously I collected them more so when I was an adult. I did obviously taken a lot of care of the games as a child, a teenager, throughout the years when I was a little bit more respectful to games. Back in the Mega Drive games, you just sort of whip stuff out, yam it into the console, don't you? You know, trying to find the slot and then it goes in. So yeah, a lot of these games, and especially my mum and dad's house, at one point had a lot of damp issues. So there's a lot of games that may have some sleeve damage, or whatever you want to call it, insert damage, which is unfortunate. But Aladdin, decent condition copy of it, a little bit of a bend there. Still got the original Sega sticker on there, which I think a lot of these do. We don't really get rid of those sort of things. So that's Aladdin. Next up is Altered Beast. Classic, of course. We've got a sticker here that can just come off because that's just on the plastic. There's no hanger, which is notorious for these Mega Drive cases. Obviously, they all came with hangers like that, because that's how I used to buy games from shops back in the day. They all used to have like a sort of metal pole thing that used to go through, and then yeah, they just all used to hang. I mean, I'm thinking back to perhaps not Toys R Us, because Toys R Us was more like card based, where you took a card up to the cashier and then they pulled that out of the things. But certainly in other game shops or even supermarkets, even Boots used to sell Mega Drive games back in the day. They all used to be on hangers. So you might have like 5 copies of Aladdin on this hanger and 5 copies of Altered Beast here, etc. That's just the way it worked. And then obviously when they sort of cut down the stock, you'd have to sort of pen through the games to sort of see which one you wanted. So let's take a look at Altered Beast. And yeah, tell me guys in the comments, what Mega Drive games do you own? What Mega Drive games do you want to find and pick up yourself? Any of these sort of take your fancy that I'm going through? You'll be able to buy them from Game On in Stoke very soon. It's done really well with my Sega Saturn set and my Dreamcast set. Most of those games have actually gone already, which is amazing. Also, you know, sad in the sense that literally they have gone into people's homes all across the country, I guess. But then it's also nice that I've been able to give back to collectors. These have just been sat on my shelves for so long, and yeah, it's nice to be able to give a bit of passion, make people happy in a sense along in this journey. Next up is Asterix. Anyone remember Asterix back in the day? I know there's still Asterix games, but as far as I'm aware, the cartoon series isn't really as popular with kids these days, I guess. So this is Asterix and the Great Rescue. This is a really fun game, actually. Used to be a big fan of Asterix. That's a nice manual. Do I see some pen? What was that on the back? Oh no, it's a feather, isn't it? Asterix feather. Yeah, it's actually a really nice condition manual. Nice condition copy of Asterix, The Great Rescue there. So, if you watched my Dreamcast and Saturn videos and you sort of wanted to know how they got on, yeah, you can kind of, there's a YouTuber that went down with the Dreamcast set, and then again recently with the Saturn set, and yeah, she went around Will's shop and Game On and sort of filmed a lot of the games that are on display, and he did such a great job of displaying them as well, you know, exciting just to look at them. Almost I almost wanted to go down there and buy them myself. You know, that's funny because they were mine, and just the passion in these YouTubers, like looking at these old games. Is that the back cover? That's weird that it's in white. Sort of reignited a little bit of a collector's sort of a FOMO thing going on, even though they were actually buying my games. It's funny how that works. So this is Back to the Future 3. Not classic by any means, but a game that I did have fun with. It's kind of like a series of mini games, all ridiculously hard to be honest, but yeah, you can keep coming back. I mean, the horse one, very, very annoying, but for some reason you want to keep coming back and see how far you can get, see if you can get a little bit further. I'm going to display them. I don't really know. I haven't really thought it through, but I might display them like that and then just keep stacking, see how we get on. So here's Balls, the Battle of the Balls, Balls 3D. Yeah, in my head, because I've not played this for so long either, but in my head it felt 3D, but then looking at the box art, maybe it wasn't actually 3D. You know, in my head I'm thinking it was like a sort of a 3D arena kind of fighter, but to be honest, looking at the screenshots, it's more of a 2D fighter with these sort of spherical sprites. But there's Balls, bit of a strange cartridge there, Accolade game. Manual's not too bad. Yeah, not a bad condition copy of Balls 3D. We'll go, how much space we got? We can go 5, can we? Got my record player there, but yeah, we can go 5. Along. It's one of my favourite games back in the day. So this is Beavis and Butthead. It's still got the sticker there, Beavis and Butthead, 9:30 PM every weekday on MTV. You'll see this has kind of had that little bit of a crease sort of effect from, you know, sort of a dampness atmosphere, and I guess, in a sense, but still decent condition overall. There's the manual. Used to love this game. If you didn't know, this is kind of like almost like a point and click adventure sort of game where you have to pick up items and then use them on things, but there's also a good platforming element to it as well, and there's also a fun shopping cart thing that's rather difficult but a lot of fun. Here's Boogerman, a pick and flick adventure. That's yeah, the last 3 have been this sort of blue, so this was like sort of the modern, so that was the original sort of box art that they had going on, and then eventually a few years down the line they sort of introduced this blue Mega Drive artwork to the cases, which is quite nice. I don't know which I prefer, blue spines, whatever they're called. Boogerman, fun game. You throw snot, burp and fart, just all the things that were amusing to a child back in the day. There's a nice crisp minty manual, to be honest. And the cartridge, Boogerman. Yeah, really nice condition copy of Boogerman actually. Next up, another fun game actually, Bonkers. Anyone remember this? Disney classic character. I don't know where he is these days. Sort of like a policeman bunny. You can also see a little bit of dampness has come to this. Luckily the artwork's actually intact there. But yeah, not what you'd like to see really, that games have sort of gone that way. Manual, interestingly, black and white front cover. Yeah, look, complete with manual. These feel a little bit more dusty than my other games. Obviously, again, even older than the Sega Saturn. You're talking 1991. Over 30 years. Is Bubsy, even 30, getting on for 35 years almost, eh? Bubsy, just been sort of reborn again by Limited Run Games. They've got a Bubsy collection coming out. This is interesting. You see how they've designed this? You can actually, oh no, maybe not, but you can tuck it away. There's some that actually connect. That one does, I think, like that. So you've got the option of keeping the hanger up or putting it away. But over time, the more you do that, eventually it's going to snap. So yeah, this is the first Bubsy game in Claw's Encounters of the Third Kind. Classic one-liner sort of character, trying to be a Sonic. Oh, there's also an extra little brochure of some sorts here. What we got? We got Bubsy, Gods. You're even advertising the Super Nintendo version there. Speed Racer. Oh no, it's on both consoles there. I knew there was a Speed Racer on the Mega Drive, you know. I don't know where I played it originally. We've got Palais, Brett Hull Hockey, Barkley Shut Up and Jam, Handball 3, Super Challenge, oh, Summer Challenge, sorry, and Winter Challenge. There's the manual. Quite crispy feeling. Old, but crispy feeling. Another strange, must be the Accolade style cartridges. I know EA did strange cartridges too. Almost looks like a sticker there. That might be a sticker. Don't know if it's meant to be there or I've stuck that on back in the day. Here is Bubsy 2, the sequel, of course. Yeah, fun games actually. Like I was going to say, they're kind of trying to take on the sort of Sonic fast pace. The only thing with Bubsy is he's a one-hit death, which makes his games, as fast as they are, you almost have to really take your time with them, because if you get hit by anything, you're just dead. Bubsy 2. Alright, we're going to make a new layer of games here now. We've got Captain America and the Avengers. This is an awesome game. I don't know if this was originally an arcade game, but it sort of plays like one of your arcade. I'm pretty sure it is an arcade game. Loads of fun, especially, well, Captain America's good how you can throw your shield, but I remember Iron Man. That's probably the first time I'd ever even heard of the character Iron Man. And yeah, sort of the orange version, not the new one of today. Iron Man there. Oh, he had Silver Surfer, Iron Man, Captain America, and Hawkeye. Are they Avengers? I don't know, you know. I've never... Outside of this, I know it says Captain America and the Avengers, but is Silver Surfer and Hawkeye in the Avengers films? I've not seen them, but as a kid, I was more familiar with the Marvel characters back in the day. Great game though. California Games, another great game actually. It's difficult to get into some of the games. It's kind of like a series of mini games, all rather tricky control wise, but once you get the hang of it, actually it's really fun. Got a sticker there as well. That looks like it's meant to be there. It says peeling though. California Games. Some of the cartridges may need, you know, I think people use like alcohol or whatever it is, like 100% pure alcohol, sort of, I forget the correct term, but you sort of clean the contacts, don't you, to make sure that they still work if they've got a bit dirty over the years. Comic Zone, one of the, I don't know if it's rarer, but just more popular, and so because of that, it's I think it's got quite a hefty price tag, at least compared to other Mega Drive games. I don't actually know how the Mega Drive market is these days, whether any of these games so far have been like super rare and people are like, whoa, as if he's got a copy of Boogerman or Beavis and Butthead. I don't really know. But yeah, Comic Zone, classic. Recently saw a kids react sort of video to that. Well, they were reacting to like just Mega Drive games. I think they did Sonic, Comic Zone, Altered Beast, Gunstar Heroes, and there was something else they did as well. And Comic Zone was actually the highest rated game that they played, which was quite amusing to see. So here's your first sort of game that regrettably has had some dampness damage. So I think I've taken the sleeve out to give it a clean, and it was just so brittle in the sense that the corners are gone there. So that's not great. That's probably not worth as much, and it feels like there's no manual, which there isn't. I don't know why. This was my game from back in the day. It would have had a manual, but again, like I say, as a kid, didn't really take care of them as much as the generations to follow. So that's an unfortunate sort of, I wouldn't, you know, if you're looking at this video thinking like, oh, I'm going to get down to Game On and buy some games, that might be relatively cheap in there. Depends what sort of a collector you are. Here's one of my favourites on the system, Dick Tracy. Such a fun game. We've got a little bit of marking down here, but otherwise looks quite nice. One player only. I wonder what it says under there, if it says 2 players and it was like a mistake and they've had to cover it up with the sticker. Really fun game. If you've never played Dick Tracy, I would highly recommend it. It's sort of like, there's 2 styles of play. There's sort of your side-scrolling, shooting forward type of game, but then in the background you can also shoot enemies in the background. And then in between you get these sort of cool 3D-esque bonus stages, sort of like training gallery type shooters, which is pretty cool. But really fun game, really great music as well actually. I don't know if it's the same sort of music from the actual film or it was originally made for the Mega Drive version, but I can hum some of the Dick Tracy music like right now for you if you want to. A doom 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 doom. A doom 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 doom. Diddly 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 doom doom. Kind of do 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 diddly 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 doom. Dragon, Bruce Lee's Dragon. Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, obviously based on the film. Back in the day, Virgin game. Was £10 at one point. Really great game. I remember playing this. I'd never actually owned this one. I bought this since. But I remember my cousin actually having this game. And yeah, it's quite fun. I kind of remember these sort of... Does he start off in a kitchen? There's like a chef with like a big sort of a butcher's knife thing going on. Really cool game actually. It looks like it's more of a one-on-one fighter, but I feel like it is a little bit side-scrolly at the same time, beating up multiple enemies. But it may be a one-on-one fighter, but just set in different scenes with maybe like a bit more real estate to the levels. That's just going off what I think I remember it being. Here's an amazing game. One of my favourites as a child. This is Dynamite Headdy. Stunning condition on this actually. A little bit wavy on the back, but that's more for the plastic rather than the inner sleeve there. Yeah, really nice copy of Dynamite Headdy. Not sure why the cartridge is loose. Oh, we've kind of got, unfortunately, one of those little things missing there. Let's have a look at the manual. Manual's in great condition. Love Dynamite Headdy. Again, if you've never played this game, this is definitely one that you need to play. Sort of a 2D platformer, but obviously you get different types of heads. This is a strange way of keeping the manual in there. Let's see if I can squeeze that under there. There we go. Cool. So it's just a shame that the cartridge is a bit loose. Yeah, some fun, fast-paced gameplay by the same people that made Gunstar Heroes, I think, right? And oh, what's the other one? It begins with an A, and it's like a sort of a wolf bird thing. It'll come to me in a bit. Here is Earthworm Jim, a 24 meg game. Yeah, the sequel was on the Mega Drive, but I did have it, as you may have seen on the previous video, the Sega Saturn version. I did have the Sega Saturn version. I think the first game's on the Mega CD actually. I think it's a special edition, isn't it? Earthworm Jim special edition. That cartridge is actually so nice still. It still feels almost like a new sort of feeling to the cartridge, which is unusual. But yeah, great game. Another one of my favourites. Next up is the original Echo the Dolphin. Extremely tough game. I know a lot of people don't really get past the first sort of stage. They don't really understand what they're supposed to do. But if you can get past that, it's really difficult, but there is a fun game to be had in there. There's the cartridge. Moving on, did I show the back? Is Echo the Tides of Time, which is the sequel, of course. It's like Echo 2. Again, pretty fun game. You can actually see the original sort of case and the modern version of the case that they went into. There's a tiny bit of a tear on the manual, but yeah, other than that, quite decent. I don't know what happened to my Cool Spot manual. Cartridge is in there, quite tough. Don't know which way round to have the cartridge. For some reason, it feels to me that way is better. Moving on, we're going to make a new stack now. This is Fatal Fury. I really liked this game back in the day. This is where I was maining Terry Bogard. Bogart, whatever his name is. Yeah. I probably couldn't tell you the rest of the cast of characters just because I was always Terry. Just because he looks so sick. Great, iconic character. So yeah, decent manual there. Here's the cartridge. I don't know whether I should yank them out like that, but just to sort of show off the cartridge, make sure there's no hidden spider under it. Right, here's our first football title, or sports title, I guess. This is an EA game, actually. And what I was thinking of the Micro Machines carts, actually, which I don't think are EA, or are they? We're going to get to them eventually. I can't quite remember. But here is an EA cartridge, and it could just be I've got the sort of the Sega Saturn crazy cases in my head for EA that have always come up with these stupid cases. But no, it is, isn't it? Yeah, they have got these unusual carts. Look at that weird yellow thing that, I don't know. They just tried to make their cartridges look quite unique, I think. It's FIFA 97. Again, a unique manual. It's like an upright manual. Extremely thick, like unnecessarily thick, probably. But yeah, FIFA 97. This is an unusual game. So this is the Flintstones, and there is a regular edition version of this, but then there's also this classic line. Games that I guess eventually sold enough copies to get this sort of format. It's a strange sort of artwork. They don't really pop, but I have seen people that actually go out the way to collect these brown sort of case designs as a bit of like a mini set. And these might even be more expensive than the originals. I'm not 100% on that, but maybe in some cases they are. Like I say, unusual design because it looks like almost like a brown paper bag and the game's popping out of there. Sort of like one of those bags that you used to get from a corner shop or a sweet shop or whatever, or maybe you'd often see in, say, a Coronation Street when they couldn't show some alcoholic beverage for the branding. They'd have it in a a brown paper bag. It's also got one of those unusual manual holders. Oh, I'm not going to waste your time. I'm just going to leave it slightly loose. But yeah, cool. First and only classics version of the games I've got here. Next up is James Pond 2. Oh, such a great game. One of my favourites, actually. I love it more so than the other James Pond games. I know I think there's James Pond 1. And I don't know if the Mega Drive got 3 did it. But I feel like I've seen I've seen it on the SNES. Maybe it did get it, actually. The more I think about it, the more I can sort of picture James Pond 3. And then there was also the Aquatic Games that I must have rented that from one of your not Blockbusters as such. There used to be different types of video rental places. I must have rented Aquatic Games like 2 or 3 times, and I as a kid I always struggled with it. I know it's like one of those fast-paced 2-button things, but there's just some strange control mechanics going on with Aquatic Games that just don't make sense at times. I used to always, there it is, I used to always see the box art and kind of like want that game, but then when I got it, I just couldn't work it out for the life of me. Similar story with Megalomania. I used to love the box art of Megalomania, and I rented it more than once, stupidly. There's James Pond 3. Rented it more than once, stupidly, and just couldn't understand it. I put it in, and it's like almost like a strategy game, and for like a 6-year-old. It just didn't make sense, but that was it back in the day, guys. That was the allure of like a lot of these games, was picking them up just based on the box art alone. And if it had really cool box art like Megalomania, despite the game being like not very child friendly in a sense of like just popping it in and having a bit of fun, it's like a complex game, I still picked it up multiple times just because I was like, this box art is like, I love the box art, it just attracts, and but I don't know why I would want it again, but just part of me was like, maybe I can find what this game's about, and I never quite could. Anyway, here's Jimmy White's Whirlwind Snooker. This is a great game, actually. I don't know if it comes with the darts and stuff that was on the Dreamcast sequel, but I remember having a lot of fun with this. We used to play this with my dad because my dad is a big snooker player. So yeah, this was quite a lot of fun actually, playing a video game with my dad. Jimmy White's Cue Ball. Jimmy White's Whirlwind Snooker, actually. What's Jimmy White's Cue Ball then? Was that the sequel? Maybe, on the Dreamcast. Here's the Jungle Book. One of the first Disney games, maybe? Oh no, we had Bonkers, didn't we? Yeah. Disney games, a lot of the Disney games on the Mega Drive are really, really fun. There's actually a Switch collection, isn't there, of Jungle Book, Lion King, and possibly Aladdin, and that was another one we got Aladdin. Yeah, but the Jungle Book's quite a fun one. A little bit more complicated because you have to like climb high into the trees. I forget what you're actually... I think you're just trying to find your way out of the stage, but yeah, some of the forest stages where you're like climbing through the trees can get quite maze-like. Here's Krusty Super Funhouse, which I had a lot of fun with this actually as well. This is quite a fun, almost like a puzzle game. It is kind of platformy, but there's a purpose to the stage. You have to try and push blocks, I think, and try and, I guess, just find your way out of this funhouse. Do you have to pick up the mice, or do you have to dodge the mice? I can't quite remember. There's something to do. It almost may be a bit Lemmingsy, actually, where I'm thinking you have to find a way of killing... That might be it, actually. Killing the mice so that they're not in your way, and then you can finish the stage. Something like that. Rings a bell. But yeah, quite a fun game. Ooh, this is a great Bomberman game. If you can't afford the Saturn one, I don't know how much this is actually, but if you want a really, really good Bomberman game, Mega Bomberman is probably up there actually. One of the best Bomberman games. I'm not going to get it out because it's already quite nicely in there, but you can see what's going on there. That's a good manual. Cartridge is decent. That's a really nice copy of Mega Bomberman. We've got the thing intact there. Remnants of the SEGA sticker. There's a sticky residue, I don't know what used to be there, that you could wipe off, but there's also a little hole in the plastic. But yeah, nice condition overall. Here's Mega Games 1. This would have come with my Mega Drive, I think. When I picked up my Mega Drive, I can't remember actually getting the Mega Drive. That's one memory I wish I could think of, but I can't. But it would have come with this and Sonic at the bare minimum, because it was Sonic that sold me on the Mega Drive. I don't know where I would have played it. Maybe I went in a shop and played it, or my mum and dad just decided to buy me a Mega Drive. I don't really know my background to that. I wish I did, but it's one of those things I don't have the memory of it all. I have memory of playing the games, but not that initial experience. But yeah, I was such a massive Sonic fan as a kid. Sonic created a SEGA fan out of me. We've got... Oh no, we haven't. I thought that was damaged there. World Cup Italia 90. Oh, okay. Is this... Right. Maybe there's supposed to be a third manual then, is there? Because we've got 2 of the 3 games as manuals, but no manual for Super Hang-On. Or is that right? I don't really know, guys, because they barely fit in as they do, to be honest. Leave a comment below if you know what's going on there with the Mega Games. I'd be interested to know if Super Hang-On had a manual. I feel like it's quite self-explanatory, Super Hang-On. Perhaps that might be the reason why they didn't, and they just sort of squeezed those 2 manuals in. So yeah, there's Mega Games 1. I had a little panic then when I was looking at that, because I was thinking, I must have missed some going from a K to an M, but actually, no, I haven't. I have missed a couple of loose cards, to be fair. I've got a loose copy of Double Dragon. This probably should have been in the... Well, it should have been in the Ds when I was talking about the Ds. I did used to have the box, but the box got really... that is something that was like really peely. And the seams were broken stuff. It was like very, very much unrecoverable. So, unfortunately, I got rid of the box. Kept the manual. So I've got a manual and a cart of Double Dragon, which might be beneficial to someone, I don't know. Might want to sort of complete their game. And I was going to put this under L's, but we never really came across an L, I don't think, so it would have gone A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. So it would have been just here, actually, which is The Lion King. I don't know how I ended up with the loose cart of The Lion King, but I never, ever owned a box for this. I think maybe it was just a charity shop or a car boot sale, something like that. I was like, oh, it's 50p, I'll pick The Lion King up. That is something kind of like what I remember, actually. So there is The Lion King. Right, let's get back to where we were. So we were with the M's, and now this is a game that has to be in my top 3, maybe, on the Mega Drive. And it's a game, actually, out of all of the games I'm going to show you here, even the Sonic games, this is one game that I'm going to keep and take to Japan with me. And that is because of my other sort of fanatic obsession, possibly, with who this person is. Of course, Michael Jackson. It's Moonwalker, and this game is incredible. Obviously, you've got to kind of be a fan of Michael Jackson and the music. If you like the music of Michael Jackson, there's a really great platformer game in here. You've got sort of 16-bit style Michael Jackson songs. You've got Beat It in there. You've got Smooth Criminal. You've got Bad. You've got Billie Jean. And you've got Another Part of Me as well. So there's the 5 stages. So you start off in the Smooth Criminal area, don't you? And then you go to the sort of car park stage, which is Beat It. And then I think it's the zombie stage, which is Another Part of Me. And then you've got the Billie Jean section. Is there a bad section? Maybe there isn't a bad section then. I feel like Billie Jean, the sort of the cave stuff, is the last stuff. Yeah, I can't quite think unless it goes... Oh, hang on, it does. It goes into sort of like an indoor factory kind of vibe. And that is bad. And then you've got the fight with Mr. Big, or whatever his name is, which is like cool. Like, you've been playing all of these platforming games, and then the final stage is actually like a space combat. If anyone's ever got to it, you know what I'm on about, but where it's like you've got like a reticle, and you're sort of flying through the space, and you've got to sort of blow up Mr. Big's ship. Some other interesting things about this, this is one of my favourite games, but a lot of people don't realise, depending on which girl you find first, so basically if anyone's seen the film, this little girl gets kidnapped by Mr. Big, and it's, Michael Jackson has to rescue her. There's loads of them for some reason in this game, hidden behind doors and boxes and stuff like that. You have to try and find, and then you've got to like hunt down, say, like 10 in a stage, and then Bubbles actually comes and points the way to the boss fight. And then, I typically start off with a spin, hold the spin button down, and then it turns into sort of a dance segment, which pretty much obliterates everything on the screen. Obviously, some of the boss fights are a little bit tougher, you have to carry on. Also uses up your life, actually, so you don't want to overuse the dancing thing. But there's some really cool moves in this. And depending on which girl you find in the stage first, there's like one trigger on each of the stages. Like a shooting star falls from the sky, and if you catch it, if it hits Michael, he turns into a mech, a mecha robot thing that just absolutely destroys everything. You've got lasers that you fire down, you've got all these missiles, you can fly. It's bonkers, to be honest, but yeah, awesome game. One that I'm going to keep. I don't know if I'll show the manual there. And this is cool. A lot of the times, remember Games Master magazine, it used to come with these. This game belongs to. And that's my very ancient, probably 5-year-old writing of James Brown. Yeah, so that's one game I'm going to keep. We'll put it here for now, but that's coming to Japan with me. And I still want to find the Japanese version, but just that, it just feels iconic to me. And even though Sonic does, I'm actually more excited to pick up Sonic again with that incredible Japanese box art that everyone loves, the Japanese box art for the original Sonic games. I don't know about everyone, but I feel like a lot of people prefer that. Here is Mickey Mania, a game that is also on the Mega CD. Pretty fun game. Is it difficult? It is a little bit difficult, but it's pretty cool. It sort of goes through some of the history of Mickey Mouse. So it starts off as Steamboat Willie, and it actually starts in black and white, and then eventually it sort of colours in, and you start getting some colour stages. Really fun game, actually, if you've not played it. Some quirky levels, but yeah, there is some difficult stages. I'm thinking of the bones, the skeletons that explode, and then the bones like hit you, and that's quite difficult. There's also a really cool bit where you're on a cork and you're shooting through the sky, and that's pretty cool. Here is the first Micro Machines games that I've got. It's Turbo Tournament 96, and really nice condition copy of this actually. And these carts, these Codemaster Micro Machines, so it's Codemasters, not EA, actually come with additional controller port things built into the cart, which is very handy. So you've got your two on the front of the Mega Drive, and because it's a 4-player game, yeah, you can just use one of these carts, plug in 2 more controllers, and have a fun 4-player. There's some extra things in here. Let's have a look what's going on in here. Racing game. Oh, and there's also a construction kit. Yeah, I can remember that. Design your own courses. 6-button controllers. I don't think either of them worked. But these are these infrared, even though they've got wires there. Quick shot. Maybe they made multiple joypads. They must have done. Look at that. Buy one 6-button quick shot joypad for only £9.99. That's a full £7 off the recommended retail price. It's funny, isn't it? I wonder where these addresses lead to these days. So, send to Codemasters Hardware Development. Or Department, sorry. Lower Farmhouse. So it's almost like just a rural farm cottage, it sounds like to me. Lower Farmhouse, Stony Thorpe, Southam, Warwickshire. I might check that out, just see where that actually leads to. It's maybe someone's just living there these days, and it used to be the Codemasters department. What have we got here? Oh, this is pretty unusual. So there's a little booklet here. I don't know if I've used any of them, but you can make a telephone invite. Please telephone this number and say you'll come. So if you ever wanted to make a party, race up to 8 friends in party mode in 16. How would you get 16? You must need a multi-tap thing. But yeah, quite a quirky thing there that you're handing out, sort of like a wedding invite, but for a Micro Machines game. Password cart. Again, that kind of looks like maybe I've used some of them, but there is some still intact there, which is, I don't know if that's unusual. And we've also got, what's this? Congratulations, you are the winner. This certificate records that you came first in Micro Machines 96 video game tournament on this date. So yeah, you could invite people over and then give them a first place sort of certificate to take home with them, which is a pretty fun idea. You don't often see stuff like that these days, right? That's cool. Right, where are we at? So there. Next up, we've got another... dropping it. We've got another Micro Machines game. This is Micro Machines Military. Pretty fun, sort of a combat shooting version of it. Again, we've got another multi-tap type thing. Is that saying how you can... Right, so you can have 2 people sharing a controller, so that's how you double. Interesting, okay. Small manual. Win a colour TV. I love seeing stuff like this because it's like... It'll be hilarious, actually, I reckon, to see what TV they were giving away back then. If you saw it now, you'd probably just laugh. Next up is Mrs. Pac-Man, or Miss Pac-Man. It's my favourite version of Pac-Man, maybe I'm biased because this is the game I had. I was recently saying this the other day, actually. I went to an arcade with a friend and they had literally every Pac-Man cabinet. They had like Pac-Man, Pac-Man Junior, Pac-Man World, whatever it is. But Mrs. Pac-Man was there and I was like, that is the best version of Pac-Man because it's quicker, feels quicker. There's like multiple stages going on, so like it's not just the same layout repeated, there's different layouts, and there's also these cutscenes in between, which are quite amusing to see first time. It feels like you're progressing somewhere rather than just playing the same stage over and over. And that's Mrs. Pac-Man. Fun. Don't know why I said that like that. Right, we're moving into the ends now. We've got NBA Jam Tournament Edition. You can see it's a little bit wavy on the front there, but nothing too major. I mean, it is a wavy copy of the game. Ooh, we've got a Genesis manual. How has that happened? Can anyone tell me if that's normal? Or has someone paired this up with a Mega Drive version? Or did they just decided just to print Genesis manuals in bulk and use that? I don't know. Interesting. Well, we got a poster. I love back in the day when you sort of got these game advertisements that are or sort of double up as posters. So we've got Maximum, again, this is all Genesis, all Americanized. Maximum Carnage, Mortal Kombat 2, NBA Jam, Nigel Mansell's IndyCar, WWF Rage in the Cage, I've got that actually on the Mega CD. Champions, World Class Soccer, Mortal Kombat 1, Virtual Bart, and the Itchy and Scratchy game. So yeah, unusual that I've got a manual and poster that is... Which way is that bending? That way? Doesn't quite feel right. That feels right, it must go like that then. That's it. And then that way first. What else we got? We've got a registration for somewhere in New York and also a American helpline. So interesting. Don't know what's going on there, if that's normal. Again, if you've seen this part of the video and you know, let me know what's going on there. Even the cartridge is Genesis, so that's not right. What's going on? But I played that back in the day. I don't know what's going on there, guys. Very unusual. Next up, one of my top favourite games on the console. I was going to say, where would this be? Probably top 5. If I had to do a list of top 5 Mega Drive games, Moonwalk would be in there. Probably which Sonic's games? I will probably put Sonic 2 and then cheat a little bit and do Sonic 3 and Knuckles as one. So that's 3 games. And then I'll put Toe Jam and Earl 1 in there. And then let's see. Oh, I've got another I've got 2 more. Maybe I'd take out one of the Sonic games just for a bit of variety. Let's get rid of Sonic 2, even though it is incredible, just for a bit of variety. And then we're going to have my top 10 would be Sonic 3 and Knuckles, number 1. Toe Jam and Earl. No. Toe Jam and Earl 2. Michael Jackson's Moonwalker 3. Rocket Knight Adventures 4. And Super Fancy Zone 5. Let's do that. Before I change my mind. And then Sonic 2 6th. Here we go. Toe Jam and Earl manual. This is a great condition copy of Toe Jam and Earl, actually. Awesome game. Another one that I used to play with my dad. My dad was always Earl. I was always Toe Jam. Looks like we've got a poster here. Oh, we've got a nice Sonic the Hedgehog poster. Check that out, guys. Love that. Original Sonic poster from Toe Jam and Earl. And let's have a look what's going on with some of these releases here. So I'm going to quickly run through the lineup here. And, I mean, some banger title hits on here, to be honest. If this was... What year did Toe Jam and Earl come out? Let me just double check that. So Toe Jam and Earl was 1991 and the Mega Drive came out in 89, I believe. So already... Listen to this list of games, guys. So you got Sonic 1, Quackshot, Golden Axe 2, Streets of Rage, Castle of Illusion Mickey Mouse, Toe Jam and Earl, Mercs, Fantasia, Decap Attack, Alien Storm, Duel Master, Revenge of Shinobi, Ghouls and Ghosts, Spider-Man, Strider, Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, Golden Axe 1, Crackdown, Bonanza Brothers, Flicky, Fatal Labyrinth, Game Ground, Ghostbusters, Burning Force, Monster Lair, Dick Tracy, Rambo 3, Phalios or something, Phalius, Hellfire, Gnug, I don't know if I'm pronouncing these right, E-SWAT, Dynamite Duke, Arrow Flash, Twin Hawk, Mystic Defender, Last Battle, Afterburner 2, Forgotten Worlds, Alex Kidd, Enhanced Castle. I see they've sort of colour-coded. I could have maybe gone in colour-coded order, but we're going across, doesn't matter. Outrun, Columns, Thunder Force 2, Monaco, Super Monaco GP, Super Hang-On, Zoom, Truxton, California Games, World Cup Italia 90, Wrestle War I'll do there, Super Highlight, 688 Attack Sub, Super Thunderblade, Joe Montana Football, Arnold Palmer Tournament Golf, Fancy Star 3, Herzog's Way, Abrams Fat Tank or something, Space Harrier 2, James Buster Douglas Knockout Boxing, Super Real Baseball, Sword of a Million. Can't say anything about you, Suzuki. Avenge Your Father. Shining in the Darkness, Fancy Star 2, Super League and Cyberball. So some cracking titles on there, not all of them, but there's some, you know, crazy good Mega Drive games and that sort of list there. So yeah, a little cool Sonic the Hedgehog poster with Toe Jam and Earl, to try and remember that. If we can get the manual back in, but we'll do that. Next up is Toe Jam and Earl 2, Panic on Funkatron. Completely different game, kind of. This is more of a platformer, whereas the other was a isometric hunting type of game. This is, yeah, completely different game, to be honest. Didn't like it at the time, actually, because it was so different from the original, which I loved. But I did grow to love this, and I know a lot of people prefer this one over the original. It depends what sort of camp you're in on that. Next, we've got Toki going Ape Spit. If I missed some, I've missed, because we're already in the T's. So where did I go wrong? Let me try and work this out. So we went wrong here, actually. I picked out of the wrong case. So, hang on a sec, guys. Let's go back. So we're going back to the end, so where we were at NBA Jam. Then we've got NHLPA Hockey 93. I'll quickly go through these now to sort of catch up, but you sort of see that's in pretty much perfect condition overall. Next up is PGA Tour Golf. Look at this graphics. Funny. Reminds me of that Simpsons episode where he gets a golf game for Christmas and he wanted like the Mortal Kombat game. Pinocchio. This is a fun Disney platformer, actually. Some quite unique style stages. I remember the minecart stage is a lot of fun, and then you've got like a dancing stage where you got to sort of mimic the moves, sort of like a Simon Says thing. That's pretty fun. Yeah, quite an easy game to get through, actually. Not many stages, but a lot of fun. Psycho Pinball. This comes in a cardboard outer sleeve, which is in not bad condition. It's got a little bit of a nick there. We've got 4 tables. It's just showing 2 of them there. But yeah, I remember having a lot of fun on this. Pinball game, another strange cart, Codemaster style, just without the extra controller ports. Oh, here we go. Let's have a look at the table. So you get the Fun Fair, Trick or Treat, the Abyss. So where's the 4th one? Is it past this? Wild West. There we go. Cool. Okay. Next up is Pugsy. Difficult game, this one. As with a lot of games back in this era, but this one was like, I always used to get stuck pushing a block somewhere and I couldn't really figure it out. Sort of like a puzzle platformer, Pugsy, but not too bad. Quite fun, I guess, overall. I did have Marco's Magic Football. I don't know where that is, but I did have that at one point. Anyway, Quackshot, starring Donald Duck. I don't know where that is, actually. Marco's Magic Football. One of life's mysteries. Quackshot, love this game. This is probably on my top 10, actually. I do like Quackshot. Great game. We're going over here now, next stack. We're going off the right stack. Ren and Stimpy presents Stimpy's Invention. Ren and Stimpy, Nickelodeon. This is a fun game as well, actually. Got another poster in here. Really crisp manual. Ooh. This looks like a Sonic poster. Sonic Spinball. Guys, look at this. Look at that bastard. That's cool. Oh, we've got more mega hits from Sega. Let's see what they've had since. So some of these have got coming soon. So you got your Game Gear, Master System Converter 2, 4-player adapter. That on the screen there? Not really. There you go. Mega Drive, the Menacer. Remember that? I used to have that as well with the game. I don't know what I've done with that. Arcade Power Stick 2, 6-button control pad, Mega CD. It's got Soul Force in as well, which is cool. Sophie's. Infrared remote controls. Let's have a look at some of the games. We've got Jungle Book, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Aladdin, Pebble Beach, Echo the Dolphin, INXS, don't know what that is. Sonic Chaos, that's got to be a Game Gear game then, right? That is actually Jungle Book. Just a mixture of games here. Sonic Spinball, ToeJam and Earl 2, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine again. There's the middle bit. Ah, I see. So your orange is your Mega Drive. So that's it actually. So Game Gear. Let's do the Game Gear section. So Jungle Book, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Sonic Chaos, Echo the Dolphin, Asterix, X-Men, Desert Speed Trap. Oh, it's Roadrunner, Wile E. Coyote. Quest for the Shaven Yak, starring Ren, Hewick, Stimpy. Daffy Duck in Hollywood. Then Mega Drive was Aladdin, Pebble Beach, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Sonic Spinball, ToeJam and Earl 2, Eternal Champions, Ultimate Soccer, Ren and Stimpy again. Didn't know his surname was Hoek. F1, Jurassic Park, Shinobi 3, Street Fighter 2, Landstalker, Star Trek, Asterix, and Body Count. And then Mega CD, we've got Sonic CD, Night Trap, Jurassic Park, Sylphied, Sewer Shark, Batman Returns, and that's where that INXS game is. Never heard of that. Looks like they're playing pool, like an FMV game. Echo the Dolphin and Sherlock Holmes. Lovely little poster there. Ren and Stimpy. Like I say, quite a fun, colourful 2D platformer. Road Rash 3. I used to have the original Road Rash as well, so I think I must have sold some games. I don't know when or why. But yeah, I've definitely sold some games. Because I did have Road Rash 1 and Marcus Magic Football at one point. Here's a cool game, really like this. So RoboCop versus the Terminator. So you play as RoboCop and Terminator sort of the bad guy. But really cool guns, weapons in this game. 2D platformer like most Mega Drive games were actually, but yeah. Some cool weapons. I remember one that was like some weird, almost like gooey metal bullets that sort of followed where you pointed. It was weird. Here it is, guys. Top 5, one of my top 5 games on the Mega Drive of all time. Rocket Knight Adventures, incredible game. Love the music as well. Dun dun. This has been recently re-released as well by Limited Run Games. They've done like a big pack that's got this Sparkster, and then I think they said that there was even another game that people don't realise is actually a completely different game, even though it's called Sparkster as well. It's like on a different console, and that's included. The only game in that collection that isn't included is the sort of the new one that they did on the 360. Was it the arcade or something like that? But cool little set. I'm looking forward to getting that when it arrives. But yeah, awesome game. I think that is quite an expensive game as well. I did used to have, which is gutting because I don't know where that's gone either, Turtles Hyperstone Heist. That was one of my favourites on the console. I used to love that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. Don't know where it's gone. It was one of those where even when I had the Marco's Magic Football and stuff, I still couldn't find. So I don't know if someone's nicked it or something at one point, or it might be, I don't know, in a carry bag somewhere still. Lost somewhere, I don't know. But yeah, that was a little bit gutting at the time, because that is a cracking game and rather expensive. So we're back to where we were. We were coming up to Toki. This is there's again some weird, like some sort of nostalgia with some of these characters that probably you've never heard of before, or well, maybe someone watching this video has, but Toki had a bit of a resurgence, didn't they? There was a new Toki game a couple of years ago, I think, on PS4 or something, Xbox One, I guess on Steam or whatever, but that's the original on the Mega Drive. Pretty fun game. Toy Story. This, and I can't believe, because at the time, thinking back to the Mega Drive, Toy Story seemed after the Mega Drive sort of era, unless this was a really late release. Kind of was, actually, looking at 1995. But this is a really fun game, you know, Toy Story. Quite a lot of variety in the stages. Remember, there's like an RC car stage, but for the majority it's sort of like a platformer, and looking at it, it kind of reminds me of Clockwork Knight, that type of gameplay. A lot of fun. You whip stuff, don't you? I'm sure you do, with your, I guess, your pulley cord on the back. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, and there's also a alien UFO sort of grabber thing I've got in my head. Is that a mini game? Something going on there, but yeah, a lot of fun actually. I kind of want to play that. Here is a Turtles game, not the one that I was thinking of, but hang on, have we missed the S's here? We've completely missed another stat, guys. Hang on, let's back it up one more time. That's my fault for the way that I've put the games out. I tried to put every game out on my table here, so I don't have to keep pausing the video and go and get some more games like I did for the Saturn Dreamcast, because I haven't got as many Mega Drive games, of course. But I've put a stack quite a ways away, like all the way over here. So this is where we're continuing from now. My apologies, guys. In fact, where the fuck I've got completely messing this up. So we're going RS, right? So S, Stargate, right? So sorry, completely sorry about that, guys. Not that you care. Probably only about 5 of you have made it this far, I would have thought. Whew. But let me go into the S's now, because I skipped ahead ages ago into the T's. So S is Sonic, original Sonic. The original Sonic that I had as a kid with the console back in 91. I'm pretty sure it would have been 91. Look at that, it's still got my name inside. I don't know if is that sacrilege to sort of, like I do have a nostalgic attachment to Sonic, but not particularly this box copy, if that makes sense. Like, holding this isn't like, oh, I remember when I was 3 years old. You know, it's not 4, but it's not. Even though this is a game that I've opened and closed this very case of that many times. Like I say, it's even got my name and a sticker there. I don't even think it's worth that much, Sonic 1. So essentially I could keep it, but then again, I'm sort of downsizing, so I'm happy to not keep it as well, especially since I'm going to buy the Japanese version of it when I get to Japan. So yeah, I don't know if I don't know what I'm trying to say on that, Air Express. Anyway, here's Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Incredible game, especially when this first released, and incredible game, really is. We've got another poster. I think it might be the same poster we've looked at. So it's a poster for the original Sonic, and it's just got that same game list that we looked at previously that was inside. Where was that inside? I don't think it was Toe Jam and Earl, because I think Toe Jam and Earl that we just looked at a minute ago had the Sonic Spinball. So what had that poster a minute ago? Can't remember. Can't remember. It wasn't even that long ago, but not that it matters. Doesn't matter. Sonic 3. Amazing game when it came out. I remember. I kind of remember. It's a little bit of a rip there on the back, unfortunately. I kind of remember when this game came out. I had it day one, maybe even earlier than day one, and I completely obliterated it. Probably the first night I just played it non-stop to completion, and then my cousins invited me around their house, And they were like, oh, we've got the brand new Sonic game, come play it. And they were surprised because I didn't tell them that I'd already had it and already beat it. They were surprised how good I was at it. They were like amazed, like, oh wow, you know you're amazing at this game. Never told them that I'd already played and beat it or owned it for some reason. It's just one of those things as a kid. There's some weird things where for some reason it just you just don't bring it up, or you get to a point where by now you should have said that you've already got it, but then it's too late to say that you got it, so you sort of got to continue this act of, oh wow, you know, I've never played this before, something. Anyways, this is Sonic and Knuckles. I love this game as well. When this first came out, this was amazing. Getting this unusual cartridge that lets you take any cartridge in your library, so you can even put, you know, Lion King in there if you wanted to. Just incredible. I want to say incredible technology. I mean, not incredible technology, is it? But at the time, it was incredible technology at the time. Kind of mind-blowing, even though Sonic 3 was meant to be Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but they sort of split it. But at the time, we didn't know any better, so we thought, God, how on earth have they managed to create a game in the future that is meant for an old cartridge? So yeah, you put Sonic 3 in there, you've got the full game, Sonic 3 and Knuckles. So it basically starts from the very beginning, but then there's a different end boss in the Sonic 3 segment, which leads nicely into the Sonic and Knuckles segment. You've also got like lots of emeralds, so you collect the emeralds in the Sonic 3 portion, and then there's these sort of hyper emeralds in the Sonic and Knuckles section. And if you get all, I'm guessing 14, because I think there's 7 of each, then there's a bonus stage called Doom something? That's something I should know off the top of my head. I kind of already almost knew it, but it's just gone out of my head. But it's Doomsday. I think it might be Doomsday, which is a really cool end boss for getting all the emeralds. It's like the true ending. I don't know what's going on here, if it's meant to be like this, but here's an advert for the 32X inside the Sonic and Knuckles cart. I'm guessing they would have wanted you to try and be tempted by this to, even though I can't see an advert for it, I was expecting to see like an advert for Chaotix. They're identical. Looks like, unless there's different games on this list, no, looks like they've accidentally put 2 in my copy of Sonic and Knuckles back in the day. What else we got? We've got another manual, and we've also got, sorry, this is the manual, and we've also got no pen there, I'm just seeing. No, but this was something really cool, being able to see all the badniks back in those days. Another poster is what I was going to say, and this looks to be a different poster. Is this just a game advert, or do you reckon there's an actual game poster on here? What have we got? Oh, bizarrely, we've got a poster for Super Monaco GP. I don't know if that's in all of the Knuckles boxes. To me, this looks like an older poster. So, yeah, I don't know. Again, if anyone can tell me, I can sort of put, say like one of the posters in one of the other boxes is meant for Knuckles, I don't know. We can sort of swap them around, because that is very much an older poster. So it's advertising the original Mega Drive, the Master System converter, the arcade power stick. Then the games on this one are Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, Golden Axe, Ghouls and Ghosts. We'll go for the action ones first. E-SWAT, The Revenge of Shinobi, Ghostbusters, Rambo 3, Mystic Defender, Last Battle, Strider, Alex Kidd and the Enchanted Castle, Dynamite Duke. So kind of the same games, but less of them, because obviously this is an early poster. Then you've got World Cup, Italia 90, Arnold Palmer Tournament Golf, James Buster Douglas Knockout Boxing, Super Real Basketball, Super League, Cyberball, Puzzle Games of Columns, Zoom, Simulation as Herzogs Away, Driving, Super Monaco GP, Super Hang-On, Role Playing as Fantasy Star 2 and Sword of a Million, and then Shooting, we've got Afterburner 2, Forgotten Worlds, Super Thunderblade, Thunder Force 2, Space Harrier 2, and Truxton. So yeah, I don't know why that's in the Knuckles box, but it is. So please let me know if you know what's going on there. I feel like the 32X probably are meant for this. But yeah, not a bad condition copy of Knuckles, Sonic and Knuckles, sorry. It is a little bit ripped, you can see. But yeah, I don't know if you can find decent copies of Sonic and Knuckles these days. It's just been so long for such a flimsy cardboard box. But yeah, Sonic 3 and then Sonic and Knuckles. Next up in the Sonic line, we've got Sonic Compilation, which is Sonic 1, Sonic 2 and Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. And there's a cool sticker on there, smoking, who needs it with Knuckles with a pack of fags. It says Summer Tour 1995 Hotline. It's cool to see. Here are the different games that are on the system. Well, on the cartridge. Here's the manual. Just a weird manual. It doesn't really... It feels like a bootleg game to me. The artwork, the manual, just feels a bit... Well, I guess it is a budget title, but it kind of feels like it, which you don't expect for a Sonic game. Next up is Sonic 3D, Flicky's Island. If you remember back to the Saturn version, I did sort of mention this a little bit, that there's two different bonus stages. The Saturn has sort of the half pipe, really cool 3D Sonic half pipe, whereas this one, you're sort of going across these sort of lava planes, up the staircases and stuff. In fact, you can kind of see it there. You've got to dodge the spiky balls. But both pretty fun mini games. This is the game that I played as a kid. This is the Sonic 3D that I really enjoyed playing, really got into. So that mini game is more in my mind than the other one, I guess. Right, last Sonic game, Sonic Spinball. I actually really like this game. I actually really like the music. Obviously, it's not the best to play. I don't think I've ever really beaten it because that last stage is brutal. But it is a really fun pinball game, pinball style game. And now we can go back to the T's, I think, hopefully. No, not quite. We're still in the S's. So we got Stargate. So I used to love this movie. I know it turned into more like a more popular TV show with Stargate SG-1, but the original movie, I saw it at the cinema. I remember seeing this at the cinema with my dad, and I think my uncle actually. One of those really weird. Like I barely even saw films at the cinema with my dad, but my uncle, or was it? Maybe it was my dad's friend actually, thinking about it. It's very strange. It might have been my uncle because he is into like Egyptian stuff, which would make sense for this. But love the film. I kind of fancy watching it now, to be honest. I know it's not as popular as the TV series with like Teok and whatnot, but I used to love this film. Cool. And the game's okay, actually, not too bad. And we got Street Fighter 2 Special Championship Edition. Biased again, but possibly the best version of Street Fighter. Maybe. Special Championship Edition. Yeah, that is the one I remember. If I had to name the name of this game without looking at it, I would have said it was Turbo Fighter or something like that. But it looks like I had the Special Championship Edition, and that was my favourite version of it. But then again, I'd never really played the other versions, but I feel like I have since on like the Street Fighter compilation, and still that one felt the best to me. Just general bias in it for having it back in the day. Is one of my top 5 games that I mentioned earlier. This is Super Fancy Zone. If you've never played this, guys, you're doing yourself a massive disservice. It is one of the most fun, once you know what's going on and how to play it, it's one of the most fun, I'll come back for another go, another time sort of games that you'll ever play. The music is amazing. I love the music. It's one of the things. Another Super Monaco poster, that's weird. Okay, there's another one. But yeah, the music actually makes it more memorable to me as a game that I love. So it's not Virgin Games, but we've got this Terminator Virgin sort of a postcard thing going on here. So again, If anyone knows what game this is meant to be in, let me know and I'll match it up with the correct game. Obviously these things you just take out of a game as a kid and put it back in the wrong case, but here is Super Fancy Zone. It's one of the best games on the system in my opinion. I love the music, I love the gameplay. Sort of like a shmup, but not really. Well, it's a weird one to explain basically. It's very simple in concept. It is a shmup, but you've got like a plane and you can go left and right on it, and you basically have to kill 10 of these sort of things that sort of spawn enemies, the sort of like capsule things. Anyway, you destroy all 10 of them and the boss fight then goes to the next level. But in between that, you get a shot bubble that will fall down, and then you can upgrade your ship, your Opa ship, which I've got here. If you remember, I did a nice unboxing of this. Love this little guy. And this is the game that I played that made me fall in love with Opa here. Really cool figure for it as well. But yeah, upgrade your ship. You can go faster, you get like jets, better weapons, better special things, better missiles. And yeah, just a lot of fun. Next up, Super Skid Marks, Codemasters game. Basically another sort of Micro Machines-esque type of game, only this is more in the vein of... I saw the arcade machine for it the other day, sort of it's called Super something as well. That's very similar, sort of isometric... Super... I can't think what it's called, but you probably know what I'm on about. Bits in there. More popular than Super Skid Marks anyway, it's like an arcade classic. But yeah, that's on the same lines as that. If you know what I'm on about, it's in the same ballpark type of game. Quite fun. Sylvester and Tweety. Are they Disney? No, they're Warner Brothers, aren't they? Warner Brothers characters. Yeah. Interesting game. Very much like the cartoons. Like, this is where graphics like this are timeless, because the shows that they were made on looked like this anyway. I said that the other day actually, because we were playing the Simpsons arcade machine, and I was saying it's nice to see kids going into these arcades and playing on these classic arcades. So this was in an arcade club, which is like insane, and it is full of kids, and kids are playing like classic games, which is amazing to see, because they're enjoying them first, and then they're also going to know what those games are in the future. And so if anyone, or they watch a YouTube video and someone references like, you know, the Simpsons arcade game or something, they'll be like, oh yeah, I know what it is. Or let me try and think of something a little bit better, like Pac-Man or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like a classic title that perhaps a modern generation wouldn't know without these sort of arcades. So they're going in these arcades and they're playing on these classic games like Outrun, Space Harrier, and you know, enjoying them. I said this about the Simpsons arcade. I said that the way that they made that game, they made it look like an episode of The Simpsons anyway. So the character art, the level stages and stuff like that actually look like you're playing in a Simpsons episode. So Simpsons is still relevant, even though it's dying a bit of a slow death. In some cases, it's way not as popular as it used to be anyway. It was massive back in the day. But yeah, kids watching The Simpsons, got familiarity with The Simpsons if they do watch the show still. Go into an arcade, see a Simpsons cab, it's instantly playable, because, you know, it's not got this sort of, oh, it's a 16-bit game, you know, it looks, the graphics and the sort of stuff, because it's made to look like a cartoon. It does a really good job of looking like an episode of The Simpsons still. So that was a long-winded sort of way of saying it's just nice that these games like that kids are more likely to play and probably don't even realise is like a 30-plus-year-old game, because it just looks like what they're familiar with already with, you know, The Simpsons. Next up is Tailspin. Another game actually I used to love as a kid. I used to have, I don't know who it was. You just, as a kid, and I don't know how I can remember this because my memory is shocking, but there used to be some random kid that used to come round a house, and he might stay for like 2 or 3 hours, but we always played Tailspin together as a 2-player, and we used to beat it in the same setting. As soon as we beat it, you know, he would go. I don't know who it was. I couldn't tell you his name even. No idea. I can't even picture how he looks. But I just remember this memory attached with this game, Tailspin, that we both really liked it. We both could play it really well, and we could both play through the whole game together. I don't even know who the Tailspin characters are. I want to say it's Baloo, but I don't think it is. Oh, it is Baloo. Kit and Baloo. Okay, so it is the Jungle Book Baloo guy. Yeah, a lot of fun. In fact, these shmup levels in between shmup levels in between these cool 2D platformers. And what happens with the plane? I feel like when you get to the plane segment, maybe one person controls the plane and the other person controls or shoots or something. It's really cool, actually, the co-op in that. If you've played that and you didn't really enjoy it, play it as a 2-player game, because it is quite fun, actually, thinking about it. Here's a game that's unfortunately had a bit of moisture damage. You can see to the artwork there, Tasmania. I kind of want to play this again because I remember this was a lot of fun. Being able to spin fast on the spot, and it probably doesn't play as good as I think it does in my head. Which, you know, I've heard people talking about retro games that if you replay them, like the fondness for them might disappear in a sense because they're not as good as you remember them being. So there is some truth in that. This might not be as good as I remember it in my head, so if I never played it again, I'd always kind of have fond memories of Taz. And then if I played it again, I might think like, wow, you know, that was obviously a different time and it's dead framey or something and it's not as fun. I don't know. I don't know if that would actually ruin my nostalgia for it. I don't know if it would or not. I don't know. It's one of them. I do want to play it again though. And then I'll let you know if it did or not. Right, so we're coming back to where we were, sorry. Yeah, we're on the last pile anyway, guys, if that's reassuring to you. So, yeah, no Hyperstone Heist, but I have got Turtles Tournament Fighters, the one-on-one fighter. Pretty cool game, actually. I know, perhaps not the best 2D fighter, but as a kid, you know, how technical the fighting combat is in the game doesn't really matter. You were just button bashing. It was just cool being able to play as Raphael, Donatello, Michelangelo, and especially Leonardo for me, because I'm a blue person. I love the colour blue. Instantly, Sonic, Leonardo, any character that's blue. I'm racist towards blue people, I guess, or blue characters. The Simpsons Bart's Nightmare, rather. I forgot about this game, actually. I was trying to reel off. I was speaking to a friend over the weekend who I went to the arcade club with, Paddy. I don't know why I didn't say his name, but it probably doesn't mean anything to anyone. That's why I'm not saying his name. But that person, Paddy, that I went with, we were talking about Simpsons games. He's like, oh, I didn't even know that there was like more than one Simpsons game after the arcade game. And I was like, yeah, there's been loads. There's been like the modern ones on the Xbox 360. There was a few on the PC, and then we were like, oh, there was like a cartoon studio game, and I was like, yeah, and you know, there's Virtual Springfields on the PC as well. I didn't actually mention this game. I mentioned Virtual Bart, which I have got as well, we'll get to it. And then I mentioned, obviously, Bart and the Space Mutants, Road Rage, and then there's also Hit and Run, isn't there? So there's quite a lot of Simpsons games, and there's more as well. But Bart's Nightmare, looking at the box art now, yeah, instantly recognisable. Mini games, a lot of mini games. It's kind of like Virtual Bart, but another game. Really fun game. I know I've said that pretty much about every Mega Drive game, but this is you seeing a very much apart from some of the sports games, of course, but very much a curated Mega Drive that I really like games, if you know what I mean. That's why each of them is fun to me. There might be some other amazing games on the system that I haven't got, that I would have liked, but I don't have. You know, like your Gunstar Heroes, for example, or again, that thing that I didn't get, couldn't think what it was called. Yeah, I am going to get it before the end of the video. If I don't, you can leave a comment below that I didn't get it before the end of the video, and maybe I'll give away something, I don't know. But this is Terminator. Missing a little bit of the artwork on the spine there and up here. In fact, it's not in the best shape. But I suppose if you're picking up Mega Drive games, this is kind of the shape that you're probably used to seeing these days. And yeah, perhaps that's not the best. I know a lot of people like the spine art to at least be intact. But yeah, the Terminator, another fun game. That is also on the Mega CD, isn't it, right? I don't know if it's exactly the same game, but it's similar on the Mega CD. I don't have it just because the Mega CD game is like stupid, like 300 quid or something. This was a fun game. Back in the day, Tiny Toons, Adventures, Buster's Hidden Treasure. I used to love this game, you know. I haven't played this ever since I was a kid, man. I haven't played this for like 30 years probably. But loads of fun. Great game. I assume it is a great game that I'm picturing it. Just looking at the front of the box art there, yeah. I just remember having a lot of fun with that. Vectorman, man. What a fun game. We've got a little bit of wavy artwork, but this is a great game as well, Vectorman. Never played the sequel. I think it's on... Is it on one of the Mega Drive Minis? Vectorman 2? Or is it the original? Just the original? I don't know, actually. Thinking about that. There might be the sequel on one of the Mega Drive Minis. Sticky on the artworks on the cartridge coming off a little bit. I feel like this would be an expensive game these days, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's not. But there is Vectorman. Here's Virtual Bart. The game that I was just talking about when I was talking about Bart's Nightmare. A lot of fun mini games. Yeah, it's sort of like a picker thing. It picks a mini game randomly. And yeah, quite a lot of fun. We've got a 32x pamphlet. Something's a bit dusty, and it's gonna make me sneeze. Bless me. These games are a bit dusty, like I say. Not as touched as that sounds odd. Not as touched. That's what she said. As the Sega Saturn and Dreamcast games, these Mega Drive games. But yeah, Winter Challenge. This is a cardboard box. This is one that I sort of salvaged a little bit. It was a little bit coming off the artwork there, but the box isn't too bad. I did have Universal Soldier as well. That was one that completely, I think, the box got destroyed on that, fortunately. Sticker on that. There's the manual. There's the cart. Manual on top, I think. There we go. Winter Challenge. Can't quite remember much on that. But yeah, it is a game that I had as a kid. I think I found some fun in it, but not my favourite. Then we've got Winter Olympics again. Could be thinking of this game, but look very similar. Bobsleigh, I kind of remember. But yeah, that's complete. Looking all good. Oh, I'm trying to think of that bloody game, man. It definitely begins with an A, right? Is it an A? Not Altered Beast, but it's got a similar sort of feeling to the name. Then we've got World Cup USA 94. Interesting. Long Ways manual. Leaflet. And we've got a insert that looks to be a World Cup chart if you wanted to follow along. I know we're in the Euros at the moment, but yeah. You find a time machine and you want to earmark off the teams that win in these stages. There you go. There we go. Oh, this is a game. This is a really fun game, actually. World of Illusion, especially if you're playing this as 2-player as well. You can play it as 1-player, but it just plays so much better as 2-player. In fact, it's kind of like a different experience with 2-player because I'm pretty sure you help each other to get to like higher places and stuff. I'm not quite sure how that works on a single player. Probably my favourite Mickey Mouse game, actually. I love the variety stages. It's a lot more colourful than like your Castle of Illusions, etc. Really fun game. I haven't had that. That's probably the newest Mega Drive game I had. I picked that up from, I think it was one of those Nottingham gaming events that we went to. The same one that was SEGA powered was there. I'm pretty sure did I pick that up then or not? I don't know actually. I may have picked that up at another time. I may have even picked that up from Game On. And then it's going to go back there, but oh well, it's a great game. Wrestle War. We are getting to the end now, guys, actually. This is quite a fun game, quite an arcadey game, wrestling game. I think this is on the Astro City Mini. Wrestle War. Pretty cool. Oh, no. Thought I had that game then, that A game. What is that game called? I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to think of it. Here is X-Men. Another fun game that I remember being fun. It's got a Sonic poster in. It's got a epilepsy warning. And the manual looks to be in good nick. So yeah, it's a decent copy of X-Men. Don't know how you fit this thing in. Maybe the manual does need to go in the back. A list. A list. No, that's a different game. Where are we at with there? Last couple, guys. Yogi Bear, Cartoon Capers. I remember this being fun as well. Yeah, I remember something with clocks. You collect some time. I feel like the time was a bit of a bugger over there. Don't know. That is a feature. More than 300 frames of animation. A little bit moisture damage looking, wavy to the outer thing there. But yeah, Yogi Bear, pretty fun game. I'm gonna have to look the name of that game up before we finish. Well, I'll have to stop the video to check. I've got the data disc vinyl of it as well. That's what's annoying. I'm trying to picture what it says on the front of the artwork. Zool, Ninja of the Ninth Dimension. Love this game. Again, very much like a Sonic sort of clone in terms of them, you know, wanting a fast-paced side-scroller. Yeah, but more of a wacky one. Oh, there's just like a comic book inside here, different languages. That's pretty cool to see. Love Zool. I think I learned that there's like a Zool 2 that I didn't even realise. But yeah, that is the last Mega Drive game. And I did say I was going to do Mega CD, but actually we've gone on long enough now that I can... Why aren't they shut? I can... there we go. Justify doing a separate video. So, that is my Mega Drive collection. Apart from Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, I'm going to be selling this. Not as lucrative or anything like that, it's just I don't want to have to take all of them into a different country with me. So yeah, I'm going to offload them, apart from Moonwalker, and potentially try and rebuy some of these in the Japanese game shops. I think it'd be a pretty fun adventure, and hopefully you can come along with the ride with me. I turn him into like a bit of a Japanese vlogger or something one day. Not that that's my intention, but it might be quite cool to do that sort of a thing. Decent content. I watch that stuff myself, so if I'm in Japan, I think it might be quite interesting to do. So yeah, we're going to take you on the journey. So hit that subscribe button, I guess, is what the type of thing people would say. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. We're going to be doing a Mega CD version of this video next. And because my Mega CD collection, again, isn't as big, obviously it's probably about the quarter of the size of this Mega Drive collection, so it's going to be quite a quick video. We probably will do the Game Gear games I've got as well, all loose cartridge, so nothing too spectacular. Just reel them off just for the sake of completionist in terms of these videos, being able to see what I've got in 20 years time if I want to look over what games I used to have when I lived in England. If I'm still living in Japan at that point, only time will tell. That is changing a lifestyle. It's interesting. Maybe it is interesting for you guys. It's going to be interesting for me. Yeah. Again, no regrets, no real regrets there. I'm going to keep the one game that I want to keep, which is Moonwalker, and the rest of them more than happy enough to let go of, because I think it's going to be fun to sort of recollect Japanese variants of these in the future. So yeah, I think that's about it, guys. Thank you very much for watching, as usual. Much appreciated. Yeah, can't say thanks enough, actually. Really nice seeing comments to my YouTube videos. I always reply to every single one that I need to anyway. Like if there's one that doesn't really need replying to, I perhaps won't, but for the most part I do reply to every single comment, and I quite enjoy that actually. I quite like that there's people out there watching these crazy videos that, I mean, to me just seem like, why would anyone in the right mind want to sit here for like 3 hours, or I mean whatever this length of time this video is looking at an hour and a half of me just non-stop waffling. And I'm not really much of a talker, to be honest. I know a lot of the things I do online these days, there's a lot of talking, like podcasts and live streams, and then these YouTube videos I'm doing a lot of talking, but in general I'm quite a quiet person, I would say. Definitely less quiet than I used to be. And I guess things like this sort of help you sort of be less shy, because obviously something's going okay because people are watching stuff, so it's not like I'm insanely cringe-inducing, and there's, you know, basically there's no reason to be shy. So if you're watching this, guys, and you fancy doing videos yourselves, or just doing something, some sort of online content, and you've always been hesitant to do it because maybe you're shy, you don't want to people see your face. No one's seeing my face right now, just hearing my daft stoke voice. So if that is something that you've kind of always wanted to do, then just bloody go for it, man, because, you know, probably only about 5 years ago now, I would never, well, how long have I had these videos going for? Maybe a little longer than 5 years, say 10 years ago. I mean, more so in the past 5 years, since I've been doing the dojo stuff with Matt, and we've been doing the podcast, and we're doing a lot of talking, and obviously, like, before you meet people like that as well, you kind of got this sort of nervous mentality that, you know, what if I mess up, screw up, or I don't know what to say at this point, I don't want to embarrass myself. I do a lot of humming, ahhing, saying like you know what I mean, you know, like all these sort of phrases that you just sort of just do in everyday speech, and especially when you're on the spot and you're trying to think and you're filling gaps. You've got these sort of human quirks that you come out with. If you feel like you're doing a lot of that, the more you do it, the less you do of it. And I still feel like I do a lot of it. Like, I'm editing a podcast with Matt, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm embarrassing. I keep saying and the beauty of that is I can just edit those out to make it less obvious that I'm doing it that often. But the more you do it, the less you'll hear yourself doing it, because you just grow that confidence. And I never would have thought that I would have gained so much confidence in the last 5 years that I'm quite happy to go to another country and meet up with randomers in, say, like Monaco. When we went to Monaco and I was meeting people for the first time, I never would have expected to go to Japan, meet up with someone that I talked to mainly online and Switch, that I would have always been crazy shy to meet, but now quite happy to meet, just start talking, chatting, we're having a coffee, you know, we're coming up with questions for interviews, and we go into bloody Yu Suzuki's office, and I'm sat down with Yu Suzuki. It's just insane what I'm trying to say is, like, it's insane what you can achieve, guys, if, you know, you're shy or you don't want to put yourself out there, but deep down inside you kind of do, because, you know, it's like you've got a passion for something like SEGA and you want to talk about it, or, you know, you feel like you know a lot about these games, you've got some knowledge that's, you can contribute something to, you know, just go outside your comfort zone, because I promise you, in like I'm probably saying 5 years, it might not even take that long, but once you start building courage and confidence in just being around new people, and just talking in general, I just waffle on, and now I've got to the point where I don't even care what I'm saying, if you know what I mean. Like before, I'd probably be like really mindful about what I'm waffling on about, and like edit stuff out and be like, oh, you know, can I do that again better? Can I say this again better? But at the moment, I'm just like very much relaxed, and this has been 1 hour 40 minutes, and I've only paused the video once because my wife came into the room and started talking to me, so I just stopped it. I'm going to edit that one chunk out, but the rest of the video is completely unedited. It's been from start to finish. I've just been non-stop talking, especially this last segment. I don't know what I'm fucking saying, but hopefully some of these words can maybe resonate with you a little bit. I don't know why I've decided to do it at the end of this video as well. It's like just one of those random things. I just started talking about something, and again, that's a confidence thing. That's like, I really don't care what people think anymore. And you just I need to get over that sort of mindset that I've done enough of this now. I haven't embarrassed myself yet. Maybe some people have turned off videos, you know, 1 hour and 40 minutes ago, you know, 8 seconds into the video. Maybe people are like, who's this guy? I don't want to watch this, which is fair enough. You can get that. I'm going to put someone else's YouTube video on and be like, this guy, look at this guy, look at this nutter or something, and turn it off. And, you know, that might be the case. Someone might do that with me. But then I've got a core group of friendly people that I talk to on a daily basis that are quite happy to watch this stuff, which, again, makes no sense to me. And the fact that I'm waffling on and on and on. And, yeah. Again, I must be doing something right. If you've stuck around for this long, again, I appreciate it. If that's you, and you're still watching now, you still hear me say these things, that means so much to me, and yeah, I can't express how much that means to me, because it's something that I didn't think I was capable of doing. When you watch other great YouTubers, if I can hold someone's attention for 1 hour 40, that just blows my mind. So yeah, appreciate it, guys. I'm going to stop there. Thank you very much. See you later.